Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Extra Extra right here in the Because of Me Network. Hope you're doing well on this fine Saturday. It's not fine here in Northwest Louisiana. It is absolutely chucking it down. But yeah, that's the nature of the beast. Before we get started, go ahead and check out becausemaybepodcast.com. Check us out on social media. Everything is in our link tree in the description of the podcast. You can either find it by looking through the description on Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth, or you can go ahead and look on our link tree in the description. It's going to have everything there, everywhere you can find our podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Podchaser, and finally, absolutely finally, you will not believe what I'm about to say. Guys, we got approved for Google. We're finally on Google Podcasts. That's the good news. The bad news is I got to do all the work I did in the last 2 weeks again. Ugh, never mind. Now, I'll explain what's going on here and then what's going on. So, where have I been? Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a story, but bear with me, okay? So, I was already feeling really, really, really burnt out. Not just by this, but by everything. I mean, all of my work, all of my project work, all the 90s stuff, all the 90s gaming, 90s podcasts, trying to keep up with everything. I was just burnt out. For those who watched the last couple of Dead streamers, you could tell I was just not all there, and even the Oddworld streams, the last two, you could just tell I wasn't there. So, I'm burnt out completely and utterly. I didn't want to do anything anymore, when it came to this kind of stuff, which is a shame because I love doing this stuff. Then, the computer that I'm using, right, will be 5 years old on its next birthday, okay, which is going to be in March. And it's done a good job. It's been a very, very good computer. It's played a lot of Skyrim. It's done a lot of podcast work. It helped me record an audiobook. I mean, it's a good computer when I bought it. Now it's struggling, and I'm going to need a new one by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year, which is fine. Even if I keep pushing it the way I am, I can make it last a year, right? Well, the problem is that when I was doing Crash, it just wasn't capturing it correctly. Like, Oddworld captured perfectly, and then Crash, which is not as graphically intense as far as I'm concerned, was not capturing correctly. And I've been up and down through my settings, and they're exactly the same. So, that was starting to wear on me. I was getting a little irritated by that. Then I was trying to get everybody together to do the 90s podcast, and COVID has just been a pain for getting people together. The last time I went out of the house to somewhere that wasn't a store was when I recorded The Lion King with the Super Weird lads, Ben and Dexter. So, COVID's been a mess, trying to get everybody together. Oh, excuse me. It's time for me to feed my cat. But COVID was a mess, trying to get everybody together. And I tried my hardest to try and rectify that. And I just, with the burnout, with the computer not working, I just threw my hands up and said, you know what, screw it. I'm done. I'm done for right now. I'm not done, but I'm done for right this second, okay? What I mean by that is that I'm coming back, okay? We are going to move forward, okay? There's, everything is going to be okay because we were completely and utterly unprepared. Like, season 7 was supposed to start in a month's time, and I have nothing for it aside from what I want to do. And a couple of episodes researched. Actually, more than a couple, but that's not the point. I was just completely unprepared. The website wasn't completed. That was on my task. If you look at our YouTube channel, it's all a jumbled mess of different... You can't look at a video and tell what it is on our YouTube channel. I'm trying to work on fixing that. Our website didn't have any of our archive. That's now taken care of, There were different brandings on things that should have been... So everything was a mess, and it needed to be untangled one knot at a time. And thankfully and frankly, I think I've done a good job in the last 2 weeks just getting everything to a good foundation level to now know what I can do to keep things going, okay? But, so what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, as I mentioned, I'm getting a new computer in the new year, okay? So I'll be able to produce higher quality videos for the gamer, and I'll be able to do higher quality games for the streamer, okay? That's a good start. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing games that I can work with, because it's not completely over yet. but I'll be able to do games that I can work with. So that's going to be the plan going forward, okay? Which means that, I don't want to keep everybody on tenterhooks or anything like that. Are we coming back? Yes. Yeah, we are. We'll be back for the end of the year. In a way, okay? So first things first, we're going to be doing a few streams in September, October time, and just see how I feel after that. Then, if the September streams go well, I'll start work on another series of the 90s Gamer. I know what game I'm going to do. It was going to be the game I was going to do before Crash. But Crash kind of derailed everything, so to that, okay? If I do any more of episodes of Right Here, Right Now, there's no schedule with that. It's just going to be when I get a wild hair at my ass, and, I'll get to do something. But as far as the 90s podcast goes, there's going to be no episodes this year. The earliest episode is going to be in January 2021. No, January 2022, excuse me. I keep thinking it's 2020 this year. In January 2022 is when we'll be back with the 90s podcast. I know we haven't done any episodes this year, but I mean, so much, as I've mentioned before, 90s podcast is the hardest one to do because there's so much work that goes into it. It's not just hit the button and start talking. I've got to do research on it, because my assumptions are not reality. I want to be as truthful and as accurate as possible. And there have been times where I haven't been, and it's bitten me when I've listened back, but at that point it's too late to issue correction. But it's okay, I'll correct it right in my next video. I don't do that, so this year is a little too early for the 90s podcast, but the plan that I have is very, very ambitious for it. So I'm hoping, touch wood, that I can I can get started. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 episodes either researched or partially researched. So, I'm happy with that. Unfortunately, they're all movies, but I'll get to that here in a bit. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to say, oh, poor me, give me sympathy and teen sympathy or anything like that. I've had a really, really rough time with bipolar. And it is a pain in the ass. You think you've got everything covered, you think you've got everything good, and then all of a sudden, it takes you down, cuts you down by the kneecaps. And, that's what it did. It took away one of the things that brings me joy in life outside of my family. And it took it from me for a brief time. And at this point, it was a blessing in disguise because I'm nowhere near ready to do another season of Gamer. Nowhere near ready to do another season of 90s podcast. I can do dead streams all I want to, but I mean, I don't know. It's just... I was completely utterly burnt out, and the idea of doing that was making me worse, because think about it, right? As I mentioned, I was completely unprepared for season 7 of the Gamer and season 8 of the podcast, right? While they're coming, time stops. I've announced them. I've got to get them done, and I froze. It's okay. I'll do Crash, and then I do Crash, and it doesn't work. So I don't know. It just it took me by surprise, and it took me to a place that I didn't want to go. And now I've got a plan. Now that I've got a plan, and I've got work started on different things, I'll be able to move forward. I now know what I'm going to do. I now know how I'm going to do it. So what's going to happen is this, okay? 90s Gamer will be back, as I mentioned, in November, December time, hopefully. That's if the dead streamers go well in September and October. If they go well in September, I'm going to start work on a new game series, and that will probably more than likely 100% be Pokemon Red, okay? Actually, no, Pokemon Blue. I'm going to do Pokemon Blue. They're the same game, just different for you. Anyway, I'm going to do what right here, right now. I've got an episode in my head planned, but I don't know when I'm going to release it or if I should release it or not. And if you listen to it, you'll understand why. But the 90s podcast is not coming out this year. It'll be starting in January of next year. And if all goes to plan, it will be within the first 2 weeks of January next year. That's if all goes to plan. So that's basically it for another episode. So yeah, that's our update. That's our update. Extra 16. State of the network. This is where we're at. John burnt out. John doesn't have the equipment that is working correctly as it used to. Can't get people together because of COVID. Can't get people together because of his anxiety and depression. And was completely utterly unprepared to tackle everything I wanted to tackle. And it's slightly embarrassing to say that out loud. But like I said, new computers coming. I'm going to do lighter, strenuous games like Pokemon, and of course we're going to be returning September, definitely, maybe November for other stuff, probably later on in this month if I get a wild hair, and 90s Gamer will be back in January. 90s Podcast will be back in January, excuse me. So that's it. So, yeah. If you like what you hear, or want to see our archive, go to becausemaybepodcast.com. Our archives are all there. Every episode that we've done in every show, with the exception of Extra Extra, is up there. So go check it out. You'll have some fun. You might find something that you didn't know was there before. Go ahead, check it out. Check us out on social media. Check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search up Because Maybe Network. That's where you'll find us there. And of course, we have a link tree, which is in the description of either the podcast or the YouTube video that you're watching. And that basically tells you everywhere we are, all around the internet, with the exception of the Google stuff, which I haven't updated yet. By the time we're recording, I might not even update for a little while until I know confirmation with exactly everything, but I don't know that yet. So, all right. So, why are you still listening to me for? Go ahead, go and enjoy your Saturday, all right? I'll see you guys soon, okay? And I might have another extra before all those stuff, okay? But take it easy, have a good time, hug your family. If you don't have a family, hug your pets. If you don't have a family or pets, just hug somebody. Be safe. Wear a mask until you get the vaccine. Make sure that your microchip works because, no, I'm just kidding. Just be safe, okay? And look out for other people because they're more than us here. I'll take you, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.